Krishnamurti, in dialogue with Dr. Allan W. Anderson. J. Krishnamurti was born in South India and educated in England. For the past 40 years, he has been speaking in the United States, Europe, India, Australia, and other parts of the world. From the outset of his life's work, he repudiated all connections with organized religions and ideologies and said that his only concern was to set men absolutely, unconditionally free. He is the author of many books, among them The Awakening of Intelligence, The Urgency of Change, Freedom from the Known, and The Flight of the Eagle. This is one of a series of dialogues between Krishnamurti and Dr. Allan W. Anderson, who is professor of religious studies at San Diego State University, where he teaches Indian and Chinese scriptures and the oracular tradition. Dr. Anderson, a published poet, received his degree from Columbia University and the Union Theological Seminary. He has been honored with a Distinguished Teaching Award from the California State Universities.
Mr. Krishnamurti, last time we were speaking, you made the remark that fear and pleasure are opposite sides of the same coin. And as I remember when we concluded our last conversation, we were still talking about fear. And I was thinking perhaps we could move from fear into the discussion of pleasure, but perhaps there's something more about fear that we need still to look into, to explore.
So I think for most of us, fear has created such misery, so many activities born of fear, ideologies and gods, that we never seem to be free completely from fear. That's what we were saying. And so freedom from and freedom are two different things. Aren't they?
Yes.
Freedom from fear and the feeling of being completely free.
Would you say that the notion even of freedom for is also a suggestion of conflict?
Yes.
Yes. Do go ahead.
Yes. Freedom for and freedom from has this contradiction in itself, and therefore conflict, and therefore a battle, a violence, a struggle. When one understands that rather deeply, then one can see the meaning of what it means to be free. Not from or for, but intrinsically, deeply by itself. Probably it's a non-verbal, non-ideational happening.
I see.
A feeling that all the burden has fallen away from you. Not that you are struggling to throw them away. The burdens don't exist. Conflicts don't exist. As we were saying the other day, relationship then is in total freedom.
Your word intrinsic interested me. Sometimes I think in our tongue we will use the adverbial preposition in for that. Would it be possible to say freedom in, or would you not even want to have in?
Not in, no.
We don't want
for, in, from.
They're all out. I see. Yes, go on. Please do.
So, these two principles, pleasure and fear, are seems to be deeply rooted in us. These two principles of pleasure and fear. I don't think we can understand pleasure without understanding fear.
I see. I see.
I mean, you can't separate them really, but for investigating, one has to separate them.
Yes. Were it not for fear, do you think we should ever have thought?
Pleasure.
We would never have got the notion?
No.
I understand. I understand.
It's like punishment and reward.
Yes.
If there was no punishment at all, nobody would talk about reward.
Yes. Yes, I see.
So, and when we're talking about pleasure, I think we ought to be clear that we're not condemning pleasure. We're not trying to become puritanical or permissive. We're trying to investigate or examine, explore the whole structure and nature of pleasure, as we did fear.
As we did fear.
And to do that properly and deeply, the attitude of condemnation or acceptance of pleasure must be set aside. It's natural.
Yes.
I mean, if I want to investigate something, I must be free from my inclinations, prejudices.
The looking forward to is I see, beginning to emerge from what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes, we say we look forward to pleasure. We even ask a person, don't we, what is your pleasure?
Yes.
We get nervous in thinking that perhaps we won't meet it. Now, I take it that what you're saying suggests the anticipation of gratification here. Would that be right?
Yes, that's right. Gratification, satisfaction, and sense of fulfillment. We'll go into all that when we talk about pleasure. But we must be clear from the beginning, I think, that we are not condemning it. The priests throughout the world have condemned it.
Yes. The notion of freedom is associated with many religious approaches to this.
Yes.
One is free from desire.
Yes.
Yes.
So one has to bear in mind that we are not justifying it or sustaining it or condemning it, but observing it.
Yes.
To really go into the question of pleasure, I think one has to look into desire first. The more commercial and the usage of things, the more desire grows. You can see it, commercialism and consumerism. Through propaganda, desire is flame,